Okay, so picture this. You're feeling a little rough, right?
Mm.
Maybe a cold is coming on or your stomach is doing flips. What's the first thing you reach for?
A big cozy blanket.
That too. But I bet a steaming mug of ginger tea sounds pretty good right about now, am I right?
Oh, definitely.
We all know ginger ale is like legendary for upset stomachs.
Right.
But you've been seeing all these articles about ginger tea EA, and you're wondering if it's really all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, is it just hype?
Well, that's what we're diving into today, Ginger Tea. We're going to break down the science and see what's really going on so you know exactly when to brew yourself a cup.
I'm ready to spill the tea on ginger.
I love it. But first, let's bring in our expert who knows, well, pretty much everything there is to know about ginger. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Okay, so ginger tea. It's definitely having a moment, right?
It really is.
But this isn't just some new fad. This stuff has been around for ages.
You're totally right. Ginger has been a staple in traditional medicine for centuries.
Centuries. Wow. Okay, so people have been using this for a long time.
And for good reason. It's not just some placebo effect. There's actual science behind why ginger works.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. What is it about ginger that gives it these, like, almost magical healing powers?
It all comes down to these powerful compounds in ginger root. They're called gingerols and shogaels. They're what give ginger its anti-inflammatory and stomach-soothing superpowers.
Gingerols and shogaels. So they're like the dynamic duo of ginger's success, right?
Exactly. And they're the reason why ginger has such a good track record when it comes to tackling nausea.
You know, it's funny you say that because ginger's ability to calm an upset stomach is basically legendary at this point.
For sure.
But is there any truth to it?
Oh, absolutely. There are actually multiple studies that show ginger can really help with nausea.
Really?
Yep. Those gingerols we talked about, they actually work in a couple of ways. First, they help to calm the muscles in your stomach.
Oh, interesting.
And second, they block the signals your brain gets that make you want to, well, you know.
Yeah, I think we all know what you mean.
Right.
Okay, wow. I'm starting to think I need to keep a stash of ginger tea in my travel bag at all times.
Not a bad idea at all.
Especially since you said ginger can help with all kinds of nausea, right?
Absolutely. Motion sickness, morning sickness. There's a lot of research on this.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, these articles I was looking at, they also mentioned ginger being really powerful when it comes to fighting colds and the flu. But can ginger really tackle a full-blown cold? The sore throat, the congestion, and everything.
It really can. And it all comes back to those gingerols and their anti-inflammatory properties.
Right. So inflammation is your body's way of fighting back against those nasty bugs. But it also causes a lot of the discomfort we feel when we're sick.
Exactly. And ginger can help to soothe that.
So it's not just about masking the symptoms. Ginger is actually helping to address some of the root causes of feeling crummy.
You got it. And on top of that, ginger has antioxidant properties too. They help to protect your cells from damage. So ginger is working on multiple levels here, soothing, protecting. It's like a 1-2 punch against those cold and flu bugs.
Okay, this is already way more than I knew about ginger.
Right.
But I have a feeling there's even more to uncover. What else can ginger do?
Okay, so ginger, it's good for nausea, colds, and the flu. That's already a pretty impressive resume.
Oh, we're just getting started. Remember how we talked about ginger being a powerful anti-inflammatory? Well, that benefit goes way beyond just colds and nausea.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Tell me more.
Well, because inflammation is linked to all sorts of aches and pains, ginger can potentially help with those too.
Really?
We're talking headaches, even migraines, which, let's face it, often like to show up when you're already feeling under the weather.
Ugh, tell me about it. So I might reach for ginger tea for one reason, but then get all these bonus benefits without even realizing it. I love that. Ginger's like the gift that keeps on giving. But before I get ahead of myself here, let's talk about how to actually take advantage of all this ginger goodness. You know, these articles mention making your own ginger tea. Is it worth it, or can I just grab some pre-made stuff from the store?
While store-bought tea can be convenient, there's nothing quite like brewing your own. When you make it at home, you're using fresh ginger, and you can control exactly how strong you want it.
I do love the idea of whipping up my own health remedies. But is it actually doable? You know, for someone who's, let's just say, a little cooking challenge, I promise you making ginger tea is incredibly easy. It's just a few simple steps. You simply grate some fresh ginger, or you can even just chop it finely if that's easier. Then you add that to some boiling water, let it steep for a few minutes, and that's it. You've got yourself a potent cup of ginger tea.
Okay, that actually sounds pretty foolproof, even for me. And speaking of adding things, The articles mention honey and lemon.
Hmm.
Are those just for taste, or do they actually add to the health benefits?
They definitely boost the flavor, but they're extra perks too.
Hmm.
Honey is known for soothing a sore throat, and lemon provides an extra dose of vitamin C.
So it's like creating a customizable health potion. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question before we move on. What about dosage? Is there such a thing as too much ginger tea?
That's an important question. As with anything, moderation is key. Generally, sticking to 1 to 3 cups of ginger tea a day is a good guideline.
Okay,
But, and this is important, if you're on any medication or have any pre-existing conditions, it's always best to check with your doctor first.
good point.
Ginger can interact with certain medications and could even affect blood sugar levels, so it's always better to be safe than sorry.
That's a great reminder. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's automatically safe for everyone. Always consult with a healthcare professional if you have any concerns.
Okay, ready to dive into even more ginger greatness?
Oh, absolutely. Get this, ginger might also play a role in managing weight.
Wait, seriously, I thought we were talking about soothing upset stomachs and banishing colds. This just keeps getting better and better. How does that even work?
There's been some really interesting research on ginger's potential to boost metabolism and reduce appetite.
Interesting. Now, this isn't about ginger being some magic weight loss solution you won't be able to ditch your workout routine just yet.
Right.
But it could be a helpful tool as part of a healthy lifestyle.
So it's not about replacing healthy habits, but potentially giving your body an extra edge. That's fascinating. What does the research actually say?
Well, there have been studies looking at how ginger affects things like how many calories we burn and how full we feel after eating.
Okay.
And while the research is still ongoing, the results so far are pretty promising.
That's really interesting, especially for those of us who are always looking for ways to, make healthier choices.
Yeah.
I'm already picturing myself sipping on some ginger tea before a workout, feeling like I'm giving my metabolism a head start.
I love your enthusiasm. And there's something to be said for the ritual of it all. Even if the effect is small, just the act of mindfully preparing and enjoying that cup of ginger tea can contribute to a sense of well-being. And that can be a really powerful motivator in itself.
That's so true. It's not just about the physical benefits, but also the mental and emotional aspects of incorporating these practices into our lives.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say, with every new benefit we uncover, I'm feeling more and more like ginger is a true superpower. So for those of us who are ready to embrace all that ginger has to offer, what are some key takeaways to remember?
Okay, so let's do a quick recap. We've got ginger as a nausea superhero, a cold and flea fighter, a natural pain reliever, A&D, a potential metabolism booster. It's like the Swiss Army knife of natural remedies. It really is pretty impressive. But with so many potential benefits, it can be easy to feel a little overwhelmed, right?
Definitely. Where do you even start?
Well, if you're just starting to explore the world of ginger, the most important thing to remember is this. Don't wait until you're feeling sick to use it.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying don't just think about ginger when your stomach is upset or when you feel a cold coming on.
Exactly. Think about ginger proactively. Instead of just treating symptoms, think about how you can work it into your daily routine.
I love that. So it's not about a quick fix. It's about incorporating ginger into your life in a more holistic way.
You got it. And the best part is, ginger is delicious. So experiment with different ways to use it, find what you like best, make it your own.
I love that, finding what works for you. It definitely sounds like we've only just begun to understand everything ginger is capable of. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
Yes, actually. We've talked a lot about the science behind ginger today, but there's also a long history of using ginger in traditional medicine for its warming, energizing, and even mood-boosting properties.
Oh, yeah, I had no idea.
As you explore ginger in your own life, I encourage you to pay attention to how it makes you feel. And I don't just mean physically. Notice how it makes you feel mentally and emotionally, too. You might be surprised at what you discover.
I love that. It's not just about the facts and figures. It's about being open to all the possibilities, right?
Exactly.
Well, you know what they say, ginger makes the spirit soar. Thanks so much for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time, stay curious.